this disaster is. So in one dream, I saw that I'm watching a news report on the TV. In the dream, I'm watching TV. The experience was extremely vivid. I thought I was watching TV. A fairly attractive woman with black hair announces. Why do I say that? Because it's the detail. It might have been an Asian woman on the TV that was talking. And the crazy thing is, now I'm living in Asia. So if I'm going to watch news, it will be an Asian lady on the news. This is a heebie-jeebies moment. This is a goosebumps moment. When I had this dream in 2007, I was living in South Africa. Our news ladies are black mostly. African ladies giving the news. It's not Caucasian. Now I'm living in Asia, where I believe I will be when this disaster strikes. And definitely the news lady, if it's a news lady, will be Caucasian. And if you know, an Asian also has more brighter skin and dark hair. All Asians have dark hair. Most of them do, unless they dye their hair or have some special genealogy. This is to me, this is big. And I've timestamped this. I have put this video, this slide, on my channel even before I moved to Asia. So I cannot go around and say, aha, I just made this up. I cannot, because it's saved and timestamped on my Twitter, on my YouTube. Now I'm living in Asia. And this news lady said that islands all around the world have disappeared. I'm going to say that again. Islands all around the world have disappeared. That means the ocean levels rise with this tsunami event so significantly that most islands disappear. So it seems that this disaster will be global. Do you see how the La Palma volcano or Canary Islands landmass sliding into the ocean is not enough to raise the water level to such a global catastrophic extent? And I'm remaining true to my experiences, and this is what I believe. And this is what I saw. This is what I have been given in this very vivid, realistic dream. And this is just one dream. So here is estimation. What you see down here is, what you see on the left is Cape Town. Cape Town. Those are your typical skyscrapers, tall officey buildings in major cities. In the USA East Coast, this side is USA East Coast, this side is Cape Town. For an estimation, Puerto Rico, Caribbean, USA East Coast will have a wave taller than skyscrapers, because this is what many tsunami dreamers see. Americans, they're on YouTube, on the record, saying that the wave they see is disgustingly huge. So much that it turns their stomachs, that it's impossible, that it's hard to look at. So, oh no, sorry. There is a prophet called Prophet Efrain Rodriguez and some other people living in the Caribbean. They say the wave is even higher than skyscrapers. They say that it looks so disgustingly large that they prefer to be anesthesious, to be under some kind of drug when that happens, because seeing that size wave alone is enough to give you a heart attack. Most people on the USA East Coast, sorry, I'm fixing my error. The USA East Coast say that it's a wave at least as tall as skyscrapers. What I see in Cape Town, the wave estimation is about half to 3/4 high of skyscrapers. So you can see that whatever's impacting the planet or happening to the planet, the wave's going to be big. This already the Cape Town wave. That's already too much. I see that the water will be this high for at least 1 week. But the water, this is me, on this side is me. I do not see many aftermath dreams of the tsunami uh, regarding USA, because most of my dreams are from a South African point of view. I've had a tsunami dream where I was put on Florida, and the narrow piece of land, as I call it, and I never knew where is this narrow piece of land because we don't have it in South Africa until I once looked at Google Earth and I saw the narrow piece of land. The shape, what I saw was Florida. And I know that in that tsunami dream, I was standing in Florida, seeing how the wave takes over Florida. And it's scary, and it was another goosebumps moment for me. But from a South African perspective, I see the water, the wave coming at about half size of the skyscrapers, half to 3/4, and then the water keeps coming in, and rises to cover even skyscrapers. It needs to cover skyscrapers to be able to make Table Mountain look like an island in a distance. The water keeps coming in, the water level of the world keeps rising. But then there's a receding. Cape Town, after 2 weeks, the water recedes. Cape Town, after 3 weeks, the water recedes to look like what normal flooding would look like. And there will still be flooding for some time. But at some point, people will go down and try to retrieve stuff and get supplies, which is a big mistake because another tsunami will come. More on that on earlier videos, where the ocean is so disturbed that the water will recede, but that the tsunami will come again. Maybe there's another impact, or maybe that's just the seismic conditions of the earth resetting, that another tsunami will happen. I'm giving you a lot of info, but we have to keep going. So I'm seeing that. That is not, La Palma cannot do that. Canary Islands cannot do that. Definitely not keep the water that high for more than a week, or for a week or more than a week. So here's a long time ago I did this thing. I'm going to read. A dream woke me up and kept me up. I happened to notice an article that led me to troves of testimonies concerning this oceanic upheaval. I noticed that the intensity varies from America to South Africa, and all reports of warnings point to the origin within the Atlantic Ocean, the biggest impact. Testimonies speak of a colossal wave, towering over tall buildings on the USA East Coast. South African accounts speak of a lower wave rush, about the size of a double-story house. In some dreams, but in another dream I saw something of a wave that is around about the size. I saw a wave splashing over Tiger Mountain, and Tiger Mountain is high. The level of Tiger Mountain is as high as or higher than the skyscraper tall buildings of the Cape Town City Bowl area. So the double-story house reference, the wave will be that high when it reaches my hometown. I'm not in Cape Town City. I'm part of Cape Town area, which is very large. But my hometown, I saw the wave still rushing. When it already covered the Cape Town City Bowl area, it keeps going up country, and it still pushes up and past my hometown when it's still double-story high strength. But then it keeps going up and up and up and up to make all the hills of the Cape Town entire area look like islands, and Table Mountain as an island in the distance. The wave pushes and stays that high until reaching the Western Cape mountain range. Now, if you know the Parle Mountains, the water will go there and dam up to make even the Parle Mountain an island, and everything below that dead and wiped out. We in South Africa are therefore lucky Israel might be untouched by this catastrophe due to its location. It's surrounded by land masses. I don't know. This is, at its best, an estimation, and I do not claim to be an expert in these matters, FYI. One of the first dreams I had in 2007, badly drawn, very badly drawn. This is me, and this is my atheist friend. My atheist friend who is beginning to wake up. He is beginning to wake up. He no longer believes in no God. He believes in a God, but he doesn't like the Christian God. That's a problem that I'm still working on. So he's still kind of an atheist, but he's very, very softened towards conservatism and Christianity due to the chaos happening now. It's just too much chaos that he wants a foundation. He wants to know, like, where is the foundation that we are supposed to have in our existence, and that foundation is Christ. You see the water coming in. This is the water covering the Cape Town City Bowl area. We are here sitting on a high hill with the rich houses on the high hills, and we're sitting here just looking at it at night. We see the water splashing against Table Mountain, the tumultuous, turbulent waters splashing against Table Mountain in the distance as the oceans struggle to calm down, and the titanic splashing of seawater over around Table Mountain. It was disgusting. It was colossal. It made your stomach turn. It made your mind go blank. I was trying to illustrate this, but I just could not illustrate the grand titanic scale of this event in this dream and what I saw. Here I show you how the Cape Town City Bowl area is already flooded, and the water is surging upward and upward and upward, up the plateaus, just to cover more levels and more levels and more levels of land, just drowning, destroying, pushing in, and just taking away life, property, and all semblance of normality away with it. People need to run for higher ground. You will have 15 minutes. It's not enough. 15 minutes. When you see the event starting until it's too late, you will have 15 minutes to get as high as you possibly can, or you will not make it. Tsunami dream of lights. Why did I add this dream? I saw debris falling from the sky. So something entering the atmosphere or something exploding outside of our atmosphere, because there were smaller impacts on land causing fires everywhere. We had water from the ocean and impacts from the sky on land causing fires and a lot of smoke. We are getting closer to what I believe is the origin of this disaster. I'm going to read the description. A long dream that needs its own devoted session. Before the waters really started rushing in, debris fell from the sky. Small rocks or chunks of burning large embers came down from the sky, ranging from the size of a house to the size of a car to the size of a football, crashed into the earth all around us. There was also terrible shaking as roads and landscapes cracked and buckled and lifted up. This is the first dream where I witnessed prevalent shaking. Before this, it was some kind of ocean impact I kept seeing. This dream was the first one that showed me that there was a very, very terrible global earthquake. In this dream too, young adults were eating, drinking, and celebrating a recent wedding. I cannot stress enough of how significant this symbol is, because it is biblical. The Bible says that the last days will be as the days of Noah. People will be eating, drinking, getting married, and being given in marriage, and then the end will come unexpectedly. That's a symbol that's right there in the Bible that gives us a hint of when this will happen. And more on that when the video ends. I will talk more about that symbol. People rushed for the hills when they realized what was happening. Soon night would set in on a scene where electricity, normal life, and many people that you knew were no more. You're beginning to see the extent of this event. So I wanted to be darker, but it was pitch dark. People like the lower areas, suburban areas, were completely drowned out. And the survivors, the very few survivors, were on hills and high mountains. And the only thing that you could hear, and it turned my stomach, was the churning of seawater that sounded like, ugh, it filled the air, churning seawater, the rush, the roar, and countless screaming voices looking for a sign or signal of dry land, screaming for help because it was pitch black. The skies were choked with smoke, and people who were drifting in the water did not know which direction to go to be able to get to salvation, to get to dry land. It was disgusting, and I just want to tell you, this is the amount of detail that the dream gives me. What would happen if it would happen exactly the way it would happen? I'm being given too many details for this to just be a dream. And they all connect with each other. All the dreams connect with each other, forming a grand narrative. Again, the people on the hills. In this terribly vivid dream, the water came in low, but eventually the 2-story high. Roundabout when it reaches my hometown, it looks low, but actually when it hits the coast, it's disgustingly high as tall buildings. But eventually covered all the Western Cape towns, and only hills and mountains stuck out. But strangely, the hills were made of green rubble, twisted with large, thick cables. People pushed and shoved each other for the highest places to stand, every man for himself. I believe these people were the residents of the hills, the rich people that live on hills and mountains, still possessive of their property. The new disaster sea was incredibly rough, just roaring and churning, and few out of the millions made it, because some hills were too low and people got smashed off by the waves into the churning waters. If you are high enough, I can guarantee you are not high enough. Keep going higher. Or get ready for if the water might come to your level. Rescue efforts began when the waters calmed and everyone got over their own shock. People were so shocked and possessive of high land, they pushed each other into the water. The green, wiry rubble is just the mass of possessions and technology that are useless. It's supposed to signify optical cables under the ocean, our internet, and just how it's all pushed into heaps of rubble, how it's completely useless to help us with the extent of this destructive event. My very first tsunami dream. You can see here something happens in the sky, but also, or something happening in the spiritual world, or something happening in the sky. This could also signify the smoking up of the atmosphere, the fires burning, and the cause of the tsunami coming from the sky, but also from the ocean. You can see it just, the first initial wave just wipes out Cape Town City. If you're in Cape Town City, I cannot offer you any hope save for getting up Table Mountain or Lion's Head. I would say Table Mountain because some of the water will splash over Lion's Head. Table Mountain, go into the cable car house. That thing looks sturdy enough to keep you just holding on until the seawater starts calming down. Another dream, getting closer to what I believe is the origin. Sorry, I'm letting you, I'm leading you on bit by bit, but it's all for a good reason. Seawater slowly came into land and crept up to ankle deep height. We already knew something was wrong. In the dream, I remembered the teen prostitute version. This is another dream, and just took off running. I see something. So we noticed something wrong. So there might be more than 15 minutes available. Those who have been paying attention will have more time of escaping than those who are just living their lives not caring about the signs of the seasons. The students and teachers moaned and huffed at the annoyance of the encroaching water. So there's a little bit of coastal flooding happening, and this just annoys people. They don't realize something really bad is happening. Something is very wrong. Everyone was confused, but then it happened. I heard something loud pass overhead, up in the atmosphere of the earth, a massive explosion right above me and going into the direction of the sea. I dared not look at it. I knew I had very few precious minutes. Because you still want to grab something, a tent, food, and water, just quickly pack it in the car and bolt. As I was running off into the distance, in this dream, I was so overcame that I didn't even grab stuff, I just ran. As I was running off into the distance, I could see the expressions of the people back on campus. I saw, like, this is the smart people, the people that consider them smart. They're scientists. They know. They understand. Doesn't matter what you know, who you are, what you think. You would do well to pay attention to the anomalies of our planet these days. I refused to look at their blanking faces because I knew it was too late. They did not start running as me, and I just kept sprinting for the mountainside. I wanted to start crying, but I needed all focus and energy for getting high up to safety. On the mountain, I closed my eyes and prayed for rescue or rapture. We are getting closer to what I believe is the cause of this event. What's that? What do you see there? What do you think I'm trying to show you? That picture in all its entirety. I just want to bring to the more informed Christians the part that the sixth seal, I believe the tsunami event will happen on the sixth seal, and how the sixth seal, on that day, the clouds were parted. It looked like the heavens were rolled up as a scroll. The skies were parted. What do you see in this picture? What is happening? What is causing the sky to part? The sky to roll up on opposite sides, toward opposite sides. Some of you are telling me like, nah, you can't be serious. Based on estimates, and I know this is hard to accept, but as in all my very vivid dreams, repeated dreams, and out-of-body experiences, based on estimates of comet populations, we know that other moons have been hit by comets, smashed apart, and reaccreted multiple times. Noted Jack Lazar of NASA's Ames Research Center in California's Silicon Valley. So moons have been smashed apart by comets in the past. You can see moons with odd shape, odd shapes in our solar system. They have been smashed by something stronger, bigger, or with a velocity great enough. Something, something big with immense velocity or mass equal to that of the moon itself is needed to damage our lunar body, to damage our moon. What I see happening is the bleeding of the moon, the damaging of the moon, the death of the moon. That sudden release of energy causes an earthquake that might cause some coastal flooding, just to let us know that something is not quite right. Remember, we don't see the moon uh, on the sunny side of the planet, but we will feel that something has happened. There will be a shaking, and the ocean will already show disturbance. And then those of us who have paid attention, water creeping up suddenly past its coastal bounds, or the water pulling back suddenly, will give you enough of a warning that something is really wrong and that you should start packing and getting up high as soon as possible, because at the very next moment stuff will be entering our atmosphere. On one side of the planet, something impacted the moon, causing a fracturing of the moon, or an impact so immense that pieces of that impact will go towards the planet. Small pieces raining down, hitting the ocean, but also hitting the land, causing fires and causing extreme smoke. But bigger pieces definitely hitting the oceans, causing our massive tsunamis and even greater earthquakes, causing even greater tsunamis. Bigger tsunamis, certain places, smaller tsunamis, other places, but mega tsunamis nonetheless. Asteroids causing tsunamis, and asteroids causing fires, and fires causing smoke, blacking out the sun. And all of this, the splitting of the skies, because this impact, this explosion, this grand event in the sky, outside of our atmosphere, will push our sky apart to such an extent that it will look like the clouds are rolling away. It will look like the sky is rolling away from one side of the planet. And they will see the cause of this outside the atmosphere. One side of the planet will experience this, and I remember immense, intense wind. And I remember on the very side that this happens, where the skies are rolled away, that there was a vacuum of air pushing things upward, as if on that side things were sucked up into space. But not much, and then dropped again. So on one side of the planet, on the side facing the moon, they will experience a shock wave, an explosion so immense that it pushes the Earth's atmosphere partly away, causing a vacuum effect to pull stuff up into the sky and then drop it. On the other side, the chunks of this impact will hit the oceans, causing mega tsunamis. All around the world, it will be earthquakes, but mostly on many places, they will experience falling debris causing massive fires. You will have to dodge fires. You will have to dodge falling debris. You will have to dodge splitting ground of earthquakes and just general shaking, the damage that earthquakes usually create. And this will be a super earthquake globally. You will have to dodge all of these things and get to high ground. When I'm talking high ground, I'm talking to those who are not inland, those living near oceanic bodies of water. And I'm talking about a range of a couple of miles. If you are a couple of miles close to the ocean, get up high. It's not enough. What you are seeing here is the sixth seal. I believe, according to the Revelation timeline, that the tsunami day will be the day of the sixth seal, which means some seals have already been opened. And I'm not going to talk about that. We are right now in the fifth seal of longing, and what's that word? Persecution. Right now is a grand time of persecution of Christians. Oh, you're not experiencing persecution. Just look at the Middle East. Just look at China and some other countries, North Korea. We are living in a time of unparalleled persecution. And right now, with liberalism versus conservatism, it is a time of persecution and longing for Christ to return. We are tired. I believe we are now in the fifth seal and we are at the cusp of the sixth seal, and that the destruction of our moon is the start of a cataclysm so vast that it sets up Earth for its final years. This is a very detailed picture showing what I believe was South America. I was in South America. I see muddy tsunamis, the tsunami being dark, so dark with mud and debris in the water as it's pushing into the coastlines. As this is happening, I see the debris falling from the sky and the smoke in the atmosphere, and now and then the smoke parts and you can see what remains of the moon outside space. The sight turns my stomach. It is so cataclysmic, it is so colossal, it is so celestial when it comes down to its magnitude that it's too much. When I see this, it wakes me up. It is too much to look upon. It wakes me up, and I'm disturbed for 2 weeks. I cannot do anything save for draw it and upload it on Twitter as fast as I can, just to get it off my mind, just to put it for my own psychological safety, just to put it somewhere where it's safe, where it can be kept, where I can feel that I've shared it, just to get that burden off me. And the reason I'm making the video is partly because to help myself psychologically cope. This is what I'm seeing. The magnitude of souls in my hands, the lives I'm responsible for. I have to do this just to help myself cope, just to know that I've tried, just for my love in Christ and my love for people, although it's not strong enough as God's love, just to satisfy the yearn, the fear, the loss, the dread that I have, for me to be able to go on. I have to draw these things when I see them, and I've seen this. This is not very good. Many people can do better than me, but the smoky asteroids, the way I saw the moon in the night sky, and just the extent, I'm doing my best to show you what I've seen. If I can get all scientific, the moon gets struck by something, I don't know what, and chunks flying toward the Earth, and the atmosphere of the Earth being pushed away, causing a great wind globally. Globally, there will be a terrible sound, a terrible, roaring, horrible sound. Might sound like a trumpet, but the howl and the roar and the rush of the wind globally will let everybody know something has happened, even if you're not on the side of seeing the moon getting hit. You will know something has happened because there will be a shaking, there will be a howling, there will be a rushing and a roaring, and there will be a pulling back of the ocean or a pushing in of the ocean, depending where you are on the planet. And then all hell will break loose, and the final years of earth will begin. Come, Lord Jesus, come. Maranatha. May there be rapture. Amen. What are the tsunami dreams? What is this phenomenon? Some believe the waves symbolize waves of evangelical revival. Some believe they are waves of new revelations of God's character. Some believe the tsunami dreams are something good. I did see coming revival, but this is a precursor, another birth pain, and not the tsunami event itself.